What's going on, Pack? It's Quacky here, and today we're going to dive into the Soul Sanctum Raid event in Krunker. The Soul Sanctum Raid is part of the Halloween event in Krunker, and it's how you earn the Halloween Raid items, including the Grinnerface, Necromancer, Rune Lord, and many more. Having about 1,000 raid items and defeating the second boss hundreds of times, I feel that I have a really good grasp of how you can defeat both bosses in the raid every single time. And I want to make sure you guys are fully capable of completing the raid, which just released again today. If you guys find the video to be useful, then be sure to drop a like, as the video is very analytical and took a good amount of time to make, as well as asking any questions you may have in the comments or in my Discord server linked below. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the raid. So the raid has three primary parts to it. You have the first boss, the Weeping Soul. You spawn in a room where you are greeted with either a Desert Eagle or a pistol to start out with. In the top area of the room, you have the crossbow, which we will get into a bit later. So some stats about the Weeping Soul: it shoots up to 18 shots in one sitting, each shot doing 20 damage, and about a 4-second cooldown between each burst of shots. The Weeping Soul's HP is approximately 10,000. Let's get into which starter weapon is best. Let's start with the Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle does about 47 damage a shot, taking about 3.2 seconds to shoot all 6 shots and reload. If we take the math of that, we get 282 damage per 3.2 seconds, which equates to about 5,287.5 damage per minute. And if we take the 10,000 HP from the boss, divided by the 5,287.5, it should take about 1.89 minutes to kill the boss by yourself, which in my testing took me 1 minute and 55 seconds. Next, we have the pistol. The pistol does about 18 damage a shot, taking about 2.3 seconds to fire all 10 shots and reload. If we take the math of that, we have 180 damage per 2.3 seconds, which is about 4,696 damage per minute. If we take the 10,000 HP from the boss divided by 4,696 damage, we get about 2.13 minutes to kill the boss by yourself, which in my testing took me about 2 minutes and 5 seconds to do. That being said, I would recommend the Desert Eagle, as there's less variables to worry about, such as inconsistency with the fire rate that you may experience with the pistol. Now, let's talk about strategy. The Weeping Soul can teleport to 3 places, which are the back left, back middle, and back right of the boss room. The strategy with the Weeping Soul is to have your group stay in the spawn room and huddle to one side and migrate to the other while the boss is on that 4-second cooldown. So for example, if the boss teleports to the back left, your team will huddle to the back right of the spawn room, and vice versa. Do be careful when switching sides, as there is a sniper ghost at the top back of the boss room that deals 60 damage per shot. Also note that on the map, you are greeted with 6 miniature ghosts, each awarding 10 points per kill. And when you kill the boss, the person who deals the final blow is awarded with 100 points. Have one person in your group dedicated to killing at least 5 out of 6 of these ghosts, as well as getting the final shot on the boss to get a total of 150 points before advancing to the next room. This is important later on in the raid to unlock the assault rifle. Once you kill the boss, you are awarded a random Halloween item ranging from epic to relic. Before you advance from the first boss room, delegate one person who can perform the parkour on the right side of the boss room to grab the shotgun, as this is needed to get the crossbow. Once the shotgun is picked up, the shotgunner must go back to the spawn room and do a double shotgun jump from the top of the boxes near the Desert Eagle to grab the crossbow. The crossbow is an essential weapon for the second boss, so it is important that one of your teammates pick up the crossbow. After the crossbow has been picked up, the shotgun is no longer required. Now we enter the tower room, featuring a few parkour courses, including a few stone jumps, ledge jumps, and a rope climb. The parkour isn't too difficult, and after a few runs should become easier to maneuver. Now, while going up ladder before reaching the rope climb, one of the 2 sniper ghosts will try to attack you. The best way to take care of the sniper ghost on the right is to go down a few steps from the top of the ladder and snipe the ghost with either the crossbow or Desert Eagle. The left ghost is a bit different. Have 1 or 2 teammates on the platform next to the ladder, strafe left and right to deal damage to the left ghost to avoid its shots. Once you eliminate both sniper ghosts, you now have 2 options. If you did take damage from either the tower ghost or first boss, you can enter the maze to the back right to get to the healing circle. The path for the healing circle does change once after one person goes through the activation point, which I will show where the activation point is. It is best to go as a group so no one gets lost and no one gets locked out and has to wait for the path to open again. Going into the maze the first time, the path to the circle is right, left, left. And going back, the path is right, left, and right. If you are entering the maze the second time, the path is left, middle left, right, second left, left. And going back is right, left, right. Also worth mentioning is that the healing circle only heals one person at a time, so keep that in mind. Also, there is a revolver on the chair in the healing room, but it is not an essential weapon as the Desert Eagle and revolver have relatively the same damage output on the second boss. There is also an auto pistol on the right side of the maze, which is also not an essential weapon for the second boss. Also, the common jump scare locations for the maze are located at the entrance, at the red button, which if you activate will trap you for the rest of the match, and going towards a healing circle. They don't activate every time and will occur randomly. Now coming out of the maze, you can proceed to the next room where the two sniper ghosts were. You will be presented with a parkour course on the left or right side of the room. The right side is a bit tricky as you need to jump around the wall, but do whichever path you are most comfortable with. Also, you will see a treasure room, don't go down there, you'll just get jebaited. Once you pass the parkour, there will be one mini boss with two smaller ghosts in the same room in case the AK player didn't get 150 points from the first boss room. Now the player with the 150 points will see a room at the top of the back ladder, have the user go up to the ladder and open the room with their points. To grab the AK, the alien blaster is there as well but is not an essential weapon. Then the AK player can deal damage to the mini boss, and if you happen to go down a few steps from the top of the ladder, then you can deal damage to the mini boss without worrying about taking damage from the big shots. Note that these shots deal 60 damage. Once you kill the mini boss and two small ghosts in the room, you will have both the semi and the FAMAS, which both deal great DPS to the second boss and mobs and are essential to have for the second boss. Also, before entering the room, there is a sniper on the wood beam, but the sniper reload time is quite slow. It is not worth using on the second boss. Also, there is a jump scare located in the very middle of the semi and FAMAS room. Just go around the edges and you will not get the jump scare. Once you all have your weapons and are healed up, proceed to the second boss by falling down the tower. The safest way to do this is by falling down in two parts. Hug the left wall while dropping and you'll be stopped by a small tunnel which houses the RPG. To get the RPG, you have to do 2 wall jumps to the RPG and 2 wall jumps back, but the RPG is an unessential weapon due to the self-inflicting damage, so you can skip getting it. Now before falling all the way down, there is a blaster on the wood beam to the left side next to the skeleton, but it can be a bit tricky to get to it. You will have to time the wall grind to quickly grab it. The blaster does deal great DPS, but if you are unable to get it, that's alright, it's not mandatory. Best time for your group to fall down is when the top of the acid goes all the way back down. Once your group is down and on the top platform, your group will be presented with the Lord of Souls, which is encaged and 3 sniper ghosts are guarding it with their shots dealing 60 damage. The crossbow will be the most important damage dealer to these ghosts, so make sure that your crossbow player has a free line of sight and the shots do not get blocked by players. Some stats about the rising acid. From the lowest level, the acid takes about 30 seconds to go from the ground level to its highest level. The acid stays on ground level for about 14 seconds, and then from there it goes up a level in 4-second intervals, and from the top level back down to ground level also takes about 4 seconds. Only the last level is the level where you will have to either be on a ladder, or you can go on top of the red button on the 3rd platform, which we will get into really soon. 1 to 3 ghosts are dead. Your group will have to activate 4 buttons on the map in order to unlock the boss to deal damage. Each button takes about 8 seconds to activate, which is 2 acid levels. Your group can get up to 3 buttons in 1 acid wave, but ideally 2 buttons and 2 buttons works best. The button order goes clockwise, starting from the back left to the back right. You will know which button your group is on if the button still is enclosed in a barrier. Once your group activates the 1st and 2nd button, the path to the 3rd button is blocked by the red button, which you will have to hit with your throwing knife. Go to the top of the ladder next to the 2nd button, and from there, aim your throwing knife about 2 bricks down from the ceiling. Once you get the throwing knife, the path to the 3rd button will be revealed. Activate the 3rd and 4th buttons. After the 4th button is activated, have your whole team on the same ladder next to the last button. You will want to arrange yourselves in the following order. Have your crossbow player at the top for the most line of sight, and the rest of you at least a few steps from the bottom of the ladder to avoid the acid. The blaster player will also want to be at least a couple steps above the bottom players, just so their shots are not blocked. When the Lord of Souls is released, you'll be introduced to the side mobs, the first being the mini snipers. The mini snipers spawn randomly when the Lord of Souls is released, and you will have 3 seconds from when the sniper spawns in to eliminate it before it fires a fast shot dealing 20 damage. It is possible to dodge these shots, but can be difficult. Also during the fight, the boss shoots one giant ball which deals 120 damage, which is why it is important to make sure your team is properly aligned on the ladder, so if the large ball goes to the top, then you can go to the bottom of the ladder. If it shoots at the bottom of the ladder, you can go to the top of the ladder. Once you get the Lord of Souls to half health, a wave of jack-o'-lanterns will begin to spawn. The jack-o'-lanterns are melee only, dealing 25 damage every 2 to 3 seconds. so it is important to prioritize them when they spawn. A pro tip as well, if you're at the very top of a ladder, you can actually go down the ladder without falling off of it by holding crouch and your back key at the same time. Once you defeat the Lord of Souls, you are awarded a random item ranging from epic to contraband, with the odds of a contraband being 0.5%. Now there is another part to the raid, but if you're only going for the raid items, then you can end the raid there. If your group is going for a time, then you will have to maneuver to the opening between the second and third button where you are faced with the Gatekeeper. The Gatekeeper has much lower health than the last two bosses, so taking it out shouldn't be much of a challenge. Once you eliminate the Gatekeeper, you must complete the parkour to reach the very end to try and get a time on the leaderboards. Do note that you have to be alive to count on the leaderboards. And there you have it, pack. The whole raid in depth for you all. If you guys are looking for others to raid with, I did just open up a public raid server, which will be in the description down below. Let me know what you guys get in the comments, and happy raiding.